Good morning and welcome to Sunday Soul Talks with Lori Tivitot. Thinking about hope. Oh boy. How's your Sunday? How's your morning? We got a 3-day weekend. A lot of us. Some of us don't, but had zero plans. Went to the beach yesterday, Sanibel. Actually, we went to the Sanibel Lighthouse Beach, which we've never been to in all the 6 years. What's that? That Yay, Sherry's back home. She spent a couple of weeks with her son, helped him out so much, and got this beautiful. He wanted her to stay longer, so she did so much, and he helped her too. It's a beautiful thing. So who's here? It doesn't matter. But it's just nice if you type something in because I can tell who's here. So this week, started doing my substitute teaching. And the only job that was available on my thing was for a special needs classroom. So seems like this week, actually lately, has been being okay. It's been intense with not knowing what's coming, not knowing anything about what's going to happen. You don't know. But when you're out of the routine, oh, and I got tattoos in the classroom Friday. It was Fun Friday, so there's a treasure chest. And I didn't even realize it, but it's two hearts. They look like a butterfly. Phoebe and I went to this Prince thing last night. And I thought that would be, I've never really wanted a tattoo, but it's so cute. Hearts and butterfly. Because during the week, so Taylor, my son Taylor, and Angel, his wife, and Eli, who's 2, they got a couple of monarch uh, caterpillars off our land with some milkweed that they were on, put them in a jar, and within days, they both had their chrysalises. Well, this past week, they opened up. So Eli got to see the metamorphosis. Not that he's going to understand it too, but to see. A lot of people have made the analogy that the spiritual path or the path within to start realizing who you really are besides this body and mind. What's really running the show here? What's really happening here? Is like a caterpillar turning into the butterfly. It's such a beautiful analogy. God, I didn't even think I was going to go here. But you go into the cocoon, oh my gosh, what the hell is happening here? What when you start questioning, what's really going on here? Is it about pain and suffering? Is it about me being angry? Is it about me being sad or depressed or or constantly t- thinking about a few hi Melissa. mm, Thank you for joining. I hope that book is doing good for you. It's funny that two people this week has said you got to read this book. It's exactly like what you say. Okay, well, I read the books. Good morning, Margie. Thank you for being here. Um, yeah, I read the book. I read the books, and it started me thinking, just like the words that come here, that come out here, starts your mind going, like I was saying, what's really going on here? Is it about pain and suffering from a past that is gone, or and looking to a future that's we're fearful about or excited about? Twice this week I was excited about something that was going to happen. There was no well, there had to have been some expectation because there was a letdown each time. So the first one was Friday night. We went to this, it was something about oceans at the planetarium. And it was about the sounds and the, um, like being underwater. And it's a meditative experience. No, we going this? What happened? There wasn't any? Wow. That's crazy. Um, so as that she said it was okay if you fell asleep. Well, I almost did. Well, my Lori's thing is when she's sitting up and dozing off, the jaw drops, which automatically wakes this up every single time. So well, I can't say every time because there's proof. When Peter and I were coming back on one of the drives, I'm supposed to be keeping him awake, and he snapped a picture of me out. And then Holly, my friend Holly, she did that too on the airplane one time coming down to Florida when we bought this condo. Um, so it doesn't always wake me up, but this time it did. Anyway, I'm glad it did because I got to see there was dolphins and killer whales and the undersea. Good morning, Cynthia. Now you're off here. Um, so we're watching this thing, and it is very relaxing. But this, I don't know, when you hear sounds of the whales and the dolphins, and it was all different kinds of whales. You normally it's louder. It was very faint. It was anyway. It just wasn't what Peter and I thought it was going to be. So there was a disappointment, but we didn't have any clue, so we just went with it. It wasn't that expensive, and I mean, if it was hundreds of dollars, it would. Okay, there's one. I just caught it. There's one. Got to get your money's worth. Woo! That was a good one to catch. Do you guys notice anything today on me? Mm. So I just love, I love, I don't know if you guys notice, but I freaking love them. Just yesterday, I ended up, Peter and I both, well, actually during the week, but when they came in yesterday, we got new glasses. And these are like turquoise. They're turquoise, but then at the bottom, they're like brownish. Like it makes me think of the ocean down here. Turquoise with and I love the shape of them. They're just different from my red ones that I've had for 3 years. Anyway, so oh, when I watch these back, I was like, you guys are so awesome sticking with me. Um, what was it? The ocean. Oh yeah, the thing. Yeah, it just wasn't. Oh, and the money thing. Yeah, when we identify anything with how much it costs, feels awful inside because it feels like something is taken away from us. I'm just realizing this right now, girls and boys, whoever watches this. It feels like something is taken away and we didn't get it didn't balance out. Because this is always checks and balances. It's got to balance it out. Is she taking more from me, or am I taking more? Am I doing enough? All that. When I went to Spain with my friend Michelle to Lisa Carn's retreat in the mountains in our treetop. It was we were in it was like a fort in the tree, like a tree house. It was so cool, and we had the top one, and we were. It was so. I guess it just flowed. There was no, because we did everything together, and we had to pay money here. And hi, Caden. Welcome, young man. It's good to have you here. Wow, Levi was here last week, and he's the same age as you. But I don't think he's here this time. Anyway, so the mind wants to balance it out. It's always keeping tape of who's paid more, who's not paid enough. It just and it that's more judgment on another person. Every time you have a judgment on another person, three fingers are pointing back at you. I say this all the time. The every single judgment or irritation you have towards another person, like Phoebe with her smoking. Last night we went to see Prince, and all three of her friends, all of them were smoking. I'm the only one, and the smell. Actually, I ended up sneezing. I inhaled some just a. It just happened to be that I was at the right place, and it just went up, and I automatically started sneezing. And we watched this Prince thing in an IMAX theater. This is another thing. Lori's mind was all about. Thank God I didn't have to pay for this because, first of all, we walked in and it smelled like I was so excited to go see Prince, and it was musty. Like it smelled like mold so bad inside that theater. I was trying to be okay with it, but it was bothering. I'm surprised I didn't sneeze in there. Anyway, apparently this Prince thing is from 1987. I was so excited to see Prince on stage on the big because I never did see him when he was alive, and it was no, I didn't know there was I think one or two songs. "Take Me with You," which is not even his song. Sheena Easton, her one hit, and then one of his songs. Jeez, I don't even remember. Was it Little Red Corvette? Anyway, I none of Purple Rain was on there. Sissy, if you're watching this, it wasn't. It was all right. I mean, it was an experience. It was something to do on a Saturday night where I would have been watching something with Peter on TV. um, yeah, so it was about expectations. So each thing was as a thing that Lori was excited to go see, and there was a disappointment. So expectations cause disappointment or live up to. When I was so excited to go see actually, I didn't really think too deeply about Def Leppard until it came closer because she got the tickets back. I don't even know, way back, and As the closer it got, the more I was like, wow, I'm really. Each time a Def Leppard song would come on the radio with Peter, I'm like, I'm gonna be seeing them live, which was awesome. The energy of the whole place was amazing when we went, when the girls and I went. But let's go back to the checks and balances. You did this to me, so I'm going to hold it against you. Everything you hold against somebody else, that emotion of anger or resentment or bitterness is what you're feeling. Dr. Dyer used to say, it's like taking poison, expecting them to die. You're the one dying. You're the one holding it. And I'm not saying that this is an easy thing to let go. Good morning, Sandy. It's so good to see you. God, you guys. Last week it was over almost 800 people. What? Oh my God. I had one that was 1,000. Oh, that was exciting. Anyway, doesn't matter. If you guys are open to this message, because literally, I just stumbled on. I mean, when my first awakening happened, it did, and it doesn't have to take 30 years for you either, because right now the energies are really high on the earth. A lot of people are, I mean, my whole feed is all of this. Instagram and here, I take some from Instagram and put them here. The cartoon ones, the ones with Alan Watts talking. I did one this morning. Alan Watts. Yeah. Muji, Adyashanti. Oh my, all of them. Wayne Dyer. There's so. Anyway, there's a lot. This Carl Jung. Carl Jung is a philosopher from I don't even know when, way the hell back. He was so ahead of his time. And as I'm listening to him right now, oh, it's blowing my mind because it's all everything that has happened. This is what I'm saying. Just listening to this and letting your mind ruminate on what is said, because it's completely opposite of what we are born into believing, that we are a person, we are a human being having a spiritual experience. We're not. We are a spiritual being having a human experience. That's the way it is. It's the God life itself, not God, not the man in the sky that they've told us is damning us for our sins. Nobody's doing anything wrong. Even the Hitler, that's what I learned at Katie's. That's a trigger for most people. He didn't do anything wrong. The only thing he did was believe in his thoughts, no different than any of us believing our thoughts that somebody else is wrong. And the only thing they're doing is believing that. He believed that Jews were bad. He believed a thought that the Jews, we needed to eradicate them from the earth. He believed that thought. And when you believe that kind of thought, it's easily transferred. Because what I'm saying is about love, which is harder to, because we don't believe, we've separated ourselves from the love that we are at around age year. As soon as we looked in that mirror and said, that's me, that's Lori, that's Melissa, oh, I'm Melissa, I'm Margie, I'm Cynthia, I'm Kaden, I'm Sandy. And that identity, that's the very first identity. And along with it is I'm separate from God, life, whatever's growing our fingernails and beating this heart. Whatever that is, you're never going to see it because it's not something. It's the air. Let's call it the air. It's everywhere, but you're never going to see it. The wind, it moves the trees, but it's moving this body, but you're never going to see it. Your mind is not going to put it in a box of I know. It's just everything is you, including the ones who have passed on or the ones who, where'd they go? You believed they were this person separate from you because you're identified with a body. When you're identified with a body, it hurts because the very first belief when you're separate from life, God, love is because God is love. It's love. But that, when you say love, I'm not talking romantic love. I'm talking about love that permeates everything. That's the only thing that's real. Course in Miracles if you ever want to read it's a whole year. A Course in Miracles is amazing. It's walking you back to the love that you are, getting out of the beliefs that we've taken on from a child that feels like it's been kicked out of the Garden of Eden, kicked out of love, and I have to be a certain way to be loved, to be loved, because we're looking to be loved and approved of by the others. Meanwhile, we don't approve of ourselves. We don't love ourselves. So on the human side, this what I'm talking about is about loving loving it, no matter what. Even if there's a thought that, like after the scam, and I realized $30,000 was gone, and I did this. The devastation, the pain, I can't even. The pain, because I was identified with this body and all the thoughts of, I did something wrong. How stupid could I be? I wouldn't listen to my kids or my parents or my closest friends. No, but there was like nope. I'm helping somebody. I am not being scammed. I'm helping somebody. I couldn't see it any other way. And it had to be. Because to get me to sit. No, I'm not saying you have to go through this. I'm not saying you have to go through a lot of pain. I mean, there's a lot of beliefs in there of the me that hurts. And the bottom line is, I'm not enough. When I woke up after talking to my parents, asking them why I didn't feel loved growing up, there was all of those beliefs. I didn't even know what happened, but all the beliefs were gone, and literally love. There was this emotional high because every single belief that you have about yourself is like you have a backpack on with boulders in. Phoebe and I used to talk about, it was like we were going down a river in a canoe or a kayak or whatever, and each belief is picking up a boulder and putting it in the kayak or the canoe, and it doesn't go down the river very well the more boulders you put in. But as the beliefs about yourself and others, every belief you have about another isn't true either. Whatever you're believing is what you're seeing. That's not what life is completely different than we're seeing through that's why every single person has its own world we're living in, our own world based on what beliefs we've taken on innocently about ourselves and others. It's innocent. Ever notice that, like, you have this story about someone about how horrible they are, and then you see other people that just love them, and you're like, what? How's that possible? It's only possible because you have a story about them. They hurt me is usually the one. That's the biggest one. They've hurt me, but they can't. Theodore Roosevelt, what was her name? Roosevelt's wife. Betsy Roosevelt? No. Something Roosevelt. Her words were, no one hurts you without your permission. when you come from as you start entertaining this message, the beliefs start going on their own. There's nothing you have to do, literally, except question every thought that comes out, every thought that or judgment against somebody. Is it true? Is it true? No thought is true. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one for this one to get. It's taken a very long time for Lori to see that, because Katie said that way back when I took her class, way back. No thought is true. When she woke up, and she woke up where her ego, the ego is the me, is the Sandy, is the Cynthia, is the Lori. That ego is a bunch of beliefs about a you that's identified with this body, and it hurts. Everything, every single trigger that happens, everything you react to, right there is your gift. That's why when that lady yelled at me, I had no idea a stranger could yell at me and I could come from compassion and love, because I knew immediately she's living in hell right here. And this is what the trajectory of life is by what you're thinking and believing. It's painful when you're believing you are this person and you're going to die. That's the number one thing. And we're going to die. The body is going to die, yes. And if you're identified with it, it's going to be painful and scary, because we've been told that we're a body, we're a Lori, and we're going to die. We're on this timeline, birth to death, and we're going to die. And we're going to die in hell, because along with I'm not enough, the belief in this person, oh, this is so good. The belief in this person is I'm not enough and something's wrong with me. That's why the ego has to fight to be right. Driving is the biggest one. Driving, pissing and moaning at them for doing something wrong. Nope. When you realize that life, God, whatever you think is running this show, it isn't you. But when you realize that it doesn't make a mistake, not one mistake. I remember seeing animals dead on the road, and I'd be like, oh, I could feel the contraction, that animal is the all that is too, that nothingness. It just goes back to the nothingness. It goes back to what, and that nothingness is going to get into another. It's a flow. It's a seamless flow. But we believe that it's separated. That's what the mind does. It separates minutes, hours, time. Time isn't real. Albert Einstein said it isn't real, albeit a persistent reality. It's persistent, because when we're identified with this body and mind, it's the birth and death, the timeline. Like the cross that Jesus tried to teach this. But it's been misconstrued. If you take out his words, you can be in the world, but not of it. This body can be in the world and enjoying it, but you don't have to be of it. You can be behind just watching the show. Watching this avatar go through, not have to be identified with it, not have to be attached to it. That's another thing. Each attachment we have, kids, parents, friends, whatever, feel what that feels like to be attached to somebody and need them, have to have them in our lives. Cynthia knows her daughter passed. which is the most feared, I think, of any mother, any parent. The thought of your child passing, to the degree of the attachment you had to this person having to be here, a person, you're holding up the belief in you as a body too. But when you, this person, okay, say someone like my dad, when he was dying, he was hell bent. He was going to get back. He wouldn't accept it. Completely opposite of my mother. My mother accepted it all and was ready. Alicia too. Her son is gone. He's not gone. He's not gone. He's not gone because he's part of her. He is her. There's nowhere for him to go. Christopher didn't go anywhere. I've been telling you this for years. I know. The thing is, the body dropped, yes, but the pain that you have held for usually God, there's got to be someone to blame because that's another thing this does when we're identified. Oh, you feel him. Alicia. Oh my goodness. I know. Mom and dad, literally, my dad died, and then his sister, my aunt, died like 6 weeks apart, and then my mom followed within less than a year, a week less than a year. Most people, like my sister, is, talking about how painful and how, I've had zero pain. And now I don't. You blame God for a while, yeah. Because our mind, our avatar, our person mind, Lori mind, Alicia mind, needs to blame some. If you notice anytime what happened, just before this came on, I could see because I'm level with the counter. It's a very shiny counter, and I could see some stuff on counter. I'm like, did you immediate blame Peter? Who the hell cares? Who? That it needs to blame someone for how we're feeling. And the more you blame, the harder you're pointing the finger at somebody. 3 fingers are pointing back, saying, look, look, look. Because it hurts to blame somebody. It hurts this body to blame. But I know it's automatic because we were blamed. When we were little, when we started realizing, thinking, starting to believe that we are this body named whatever, it was hurting. Because they were saying, why did you spill that milk? What were you thinking when, all of that? So the love just went away. The love that we are just went away. Then it was taken on as belief. Oh my gosh, I'm doing it wrong. That's every single person. First of all, is I'm separate from life, from God, from love. And it hurts. So I'm not enough, and there's something wrong with me. And then it's projected out there. There's something wrong with them. No. Every single person, or the person that is seemingly hurt you the most, send them love. Even though you don't feel it, as you send them love from your heart, I'm telling you, it changes everything. It changes everything because that little me, like the woman Patty who yelled at me, I mean, she was so angry. If I had my pepper spray, it'd be in your face right now. I mean, she's in my face. Just so, oh my God, I know what she's living. And it's painful. As you this starts getting in and starts rewiring your brain. You don't even realize it until a situation comes and you react differently to the situation. Instead of fighting, you're coming from the love that you are. You're coming from the realness of life. And then you start seeing life completely different. because there's no veil of I'm a victim. I'm a victim of them. They hurt me. It's not possible. You're hurting you with your beliefs. And if it's really strong in your life right now, you get to like grief or whatever it is that feels awful inside. Because every single thought causes a body reaction. Body follows mind. Just remember that. Body follows whatever you're thinking. What you're thinking, and it's immediate. I mean, something will happen and there's immediate bing, bing, bing. You know, it's just the synapses or whatever the hell is in there. Peter Henry. I guess we're going to breakfast. Can you say ham and cheese omelet? That's what he types in. Anyway, you can have multiple judgments for other people. I mean, okay. You don't have any judgments against someone. You don't. Your mind is a judging machine, but that's not who you are. When you can see a judgment come up, they blah blah, and you can feel that in your body. Your body has to pay, and then it starts getting ailments because it disrupts all the harmony that's normally going on inside when it's loving. But every single person who seemingly hurt you, or you feel the most pain about the story you're telling, you're believing in your head of why they're gone or they hurt me, that story is living in you. Your mind created that story for you to wake up to what I'm saying, to wake up. Because forgiveness, as you forgive, that Patty, the one that yelled at me, it wasn't even forgiveness. She didn't do anything wrong. I see now, because she got me to see that I can come from love even when somebody's yelling in my face and telling me they wish they had pepper spray. Just spray. What? I had no idea, but life is bringing you, it's constantly bringing you exactly what you need to wake up to the love that you are, instead of the ego, the little me that you believe yourself to be needs to fight because it believes it's wrong. It's separate from that love. It's never been separate. Well, oh boy, here comes that paradox, because that's why you can love it. It's not separate. It's never been separate. It only believes it is. It's all a bunch of beliefs that aren't true about a you that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's a bunch of thoughts. That's all it is. Taken from a past, throwing it into the future. The past, how painful it was, and hold on to those stories of all the pain. It's living in this body. If you let go of the stories, and then the future. Okay, that's how what I want to talk about, the future. Because a little me is afraid of the future. It's so fearful. What's going to happen? Something bad's going to happen. Whenever somebody gets called to an office or something, oh my God, has this happened to you? Get called into the office and you think something bad's going to. So what did I do wrong? Is the first thing any ego mind. That's how I know that somebody's identified with their ego mind. Oh my God, I did something wrong. And then it turned out to be, oh, you did a great job. Or here's something benign, something was delivered there, or whatever. Something that has nothing to do with anything being wrong. Happens all the time. And it shows you that you're believing in this mind that says, I've done it wrong. Alicia. It excites me so much when somebody can resonate with it. Because you are me. We're not separate. We're not separate. That's why this, if you're entertaining this, woo, future. Anyway, okay, so what I was going to say, because there's no future, it's only right now. So, as Lori, started this new job, substitute teaching. So every day I'm going to a different school, but it started Thursday, and I took a 2-day assignment. It was in a special needs class. So I'm driving there with my GPS. It's in Fort Myers. It's not far, but it was someplace I'd never been before. So I'm watching the thoughts. Who I really am is watching the thoughts. That I'm not those thoughts. I'm watching them go across of, wow, back in the day, I would have been so uptight inside, so worried about what, because it couldn't, in your routine of life, the what is normal, rote, like your shower, your blah, 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 your routine. There's no, your mind is all over the place because your body can just do it without any thought involved. So your thoughts are all over the place. Well, on this, with this, I'm going there and the thoughts are of the future. I'm watching them of the future. I don't know what's gonna. I can't. There's no way I can. You don't know what's gonna happen anyway, even if it is a routine. But there was no. I didn't know where the school was. I didn't know. I drove there, and I see this line of cars. I'm gonna be late if I stay in the line of cars. And then I see the door. The gate's not even open. First of all, there has to be a gate. Yeah. So then I see, there's a different entrance. So I had to go back around, get to the staff and entrance. I didn't see that. And there's a police guard, letting you in. So I don't know. Next thing, I don't know how to get in the school. I have no idea how to even get in it. So I see somebody and I say, how do I get in this school? She goes, follow me. So I followed her, got into the office. Phyllis, very nice. Everybody is so incredibly helpful and nice. And Phyllis tells me I'm going to the blue building. Okay? When you think of a blue building, you think of a blue building, right? So I take down everything. I get my keys and my folder and everything. Attendance sheet. So she says you go out, you go down, you go left, or whatever. And it's a maze. It's a complete maze that I am. Woo! So I head the way she said, and then I take a left, and I'm going, okay, well, blue building. None of these buildings are blue. Not one building is blue. No, none. She says, oh, it's a 2-story. It's the only 2-story building. I don't see a 2-story building either. So I see 2 guys standing there. And they can tell I was. Plus I have my visitor's pass, because I don't have my badge yet. Because the badge thing was down. But it's up now, so I have to go back to get it. So they tell me exactly where to go. And so I get in and I'm walking down. I open up the door. I go, oh, the blue building is not blue. There's a stripe on the building that's blue. A stripe. That's a blue building. There's a blue stripe on the building. That's a blue building. In her eyes, it's a blue building. See? Innocent miscommunication. Now, if I wasn't going with the flow of life, there would have been blaming her for telling me it's a blue building when it's just a stripe. It would have been, Argh! So I get to the room. So I get in there. There's no one around. There's no kids anywhere. Nobody's in this building but me. Okay, so I sit down and start looking around. An hour. I was in the building for an hour before there were kids started coming in other buildings. I could see out the windows, but there's nobody coming to this room. Okay, so just sitting waiting. And then a lady comes with a bunch of kids. And this is the room. She's usually the assistant to the teacher. The teacher's out and I'm filling it in. But this woman's running the show here. Woo, big time. So then it comes lunch. She says, "You've got to take a half an hour break." I said, "Okay." So I brought some crackers and peanut butter and she go, "Oh, you can't eat that in here." What? You have to go to the cafeteria. Oh, okay. Where's the cafeteria? So she tells me, so I leave the building very trepidatiously. Is that a word? I don't really want to leave this building. So I leave the building and I head towards wherever she said, cafeteria. And I actually find it. And somebody goes in it and opens the doors, a whole bunch of people. But I see a bench right outside the building looking over the parking lot where I parked. So I said, "I'm going to sit. I want to be outside." It was beautiful. And it's all covered. So then it's time to go back. So I walk aimlessly in the area that I get to the blue building. It's the blue building. It's not the blue. My key doesn't open the door. It's not the right blue building. The blue. So somebody rescues me and says, I tell them, I can't even pronounce the lady's last name, the teacher. I say Peggy. Okay. So he takes me to this building. The blue stripe is a little bit different than the other blue stripe. It's dark. Oh my God. So there's an APB out on me. Because the teacher was like, "Oh," she's like, "Where is she?" What? So she calls the office. She had called the office to find out where I am. And so the lady the guy that actually took me to this, no, it was a woman. It was a woman. She said, are you the Kelly, the substitute that's lost?" I said, "You." I get back and she's like, the teacher, I said, "I got lost." She goes, "I knew it." She goes, "Okay." So now I know. Well, kind of. I don't know if I'm going to be back in that class, but special needs class is really different. Ooh. But anyway, I had a great time. I really did. It being with those kids, making, even though some of them don't talk at all, I wondered about the telepathy tapes. I wondered, if they knew anything about the hill where they go to telepathically. I wondered, but I didn't ask. There was a 11-year-old girl who was very helpful. Her name was Justice, and I really liked her a lot. I liked them all, but it was different ranges of. They're from third grade to sixth grade in there. Like Justice was a sixth grader, but the youngest was a 10-year-old, and they all have different. Woo! Made me very grateful. Very grateful that my kids and my grandkids are. Oh my gosh. Because I'm thinking, how? I mean, she's trying to. Nothing's wrong. Nothing is wrong. Right there. See that there was a going down the road of how are they gonna the future. Right back. Immediately my mind, not immediate, it was a little bit of going there. And then there was nothing's wrong. There is nothing out of order here. Nothing. And when as you start taking on this idea that nothing is out of order, and God, whatever you look to as a higher power, whatever's making these fingers do this and making the talk and breathing, whatever's doing that is doing it for them too. It's they're not their bodies. That's why when someone has passed on, don't feel bad. When you feel bad for somebody who's passed, that's your selfishness. That's what our minds are, selfish. It wants what it wants. Never mind what they were living. What's best for them, like watching Dad all those weeks of fighting it, and then finally, finally he got very quiet, and he didn't. I imagine, because everybody in hospice talks about how you go through, because there's no more future, and you know that. So most of our thoughts are from the past into the future, and they don't have to. They realize there's no more future, so that stops the thoughts, because it's so automatic. Our thoughts are in the future, which there isn't a future. There's no future. That's imagination. It's all imagination. It's not reality. And the past is imagination too. That's gone. That's the timeline. And I think about the cross that Jesus was put on, the timeline of a human life. The only thing is now, the up and down. Now. That's it. That's the only reality, is now. Past and future. Not reality. But that's what most people are living in. Past and future. What you did to me and what I'm going to do. But nobody's doing anything. There is no doer here. I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but there's no doer. Every single philosopher you ever go listen to, there is no doer. Nobody's doing. Nobody, no person is doing it. We're being moved exactly how we're meant to be moved for our awakening. And will we awaken? There's a lot of people waking up. That everybody who entertains this thought, just know, if you've stayed this long, you are waking up. You wouldn't be able to, because the ego wouldn't let you listen to this. It wouldn't let you. It would be like, because it knows its days are numbered. As you entertain realizing the love that you are, the ego is going to go. And it's okay. Just love it. Every time it goes to judge somebody and say they're doing it wrong, come back. Our breath is so underrated. The minute you focus on a breath in, it brings you right now. You get out of, if you're starting to feel uptight inside and uncomfortable and let that be your temple bell to know you're in your thoughts. You're believing in the thoughts. You're in the timeline. Breathe. Come right back to now. Where that's the only reality. Get you out of that Maya, that ick, that constant barrage of, it's okay. It's not something that you don't want to hate it, because in the beginning when I first started, I hated it, because I knew that it was what was blocking. But it's not a thing. Ego is not a thing. It's a bunch of thoughts. That's all it is. Breath in the present moment. That's it. Breath. A breath. One breath. Or if you put an E on the end of breath, breathe. That's what I say to everybody who's uptight. I did that at the school. I was like, breathe. But most people don't get it, they their minds are so busy, so into the problem. There is no problems. There is zero problems. The only thing that believes there's a problem is the me, the little me that you believe, that ego, that bunch of thoughts. It's the problem. If there is a problem. When you breathe and come back to now, there's no problem because there's no past and no future. It's only now. No problem. Imagine there isn't a problem. And when you come back to the now, whatever seeming problem, the more you're in the now, the solution in the timeline shows up. It just shows up beautifully, I might add. It's like a no-brainer. It's like, oh, of course. It's happened a lot of times with Peter and I. Oh, Peter, what did I do yesterday? And you said, even I can't do that. What was that? Shit, what was that? He goes, even I can't do that. I don't remember what it was. That's another thing, living in the moment. The more you're in the moment, you're not hanging on to the past. So you forget a lot. It's just not significant. Nothing is significant except in the now. So if you don't remember something, you don't if the thought comes in, oh my God, I remember my mom with this. I'm getting Alzheimer's. There's something wrong with me. I can't forget. So many people say that. Something's wrong. Well, that's just another thing your ego's using. Something's wrong with me. I can't remember. So what? It wasn't important. Because the big thing is fear of Alzheimer's. You can talk yourself right into it. Don't listen. That's another thought that's not true. It's another lie. I'm getting Alzheimer's. What? There's the projection into the future from the past of, I can't remember what happened yesterday. So what? Both the memories are more cemented when they're emotional. When it's tied with emotion, then you remember. Because emotion, anchors it in the body. Oh my God, it's 9:50. Whoa. Holy crap, that went by fast. That's another thing. When you're passionate about, I don't know if you create anything or whatever. This seems to be Lori's creativity corner here. Sunday mornings. When you're in a creative mode, there's no time. Notice how time, look how, I'm in awe of Monday, Friday. The weekend, forget it. Monday, Friday. What? And then the weeks turn into months and then years. I just saw today. Well, the Prince thing was from 1987. That was 3 years after Peter and I got married. 87 seems like yesterday. 87. What? All the ladies I was with last night were younger than me. They were all in their 50s, mid 50s. And Lori seemingly is 61, which, really? This body is 61. This body and what was that? I didn't say it was young. I said it was 61. But that's not who I am. Just like you guys are not those bodies. Not those bodies. maybe we'll talk about that next week. Because consciousness, whatever, the air, the wind, whatever the hell you want to call this, life, love, God wants to experience itself because it's all that is. The only way it can experience itself is through this dream of a person. That's a great way to end it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you've made it this far, thank you. Thank yourself. Thank yourself for beginning to question, for beginning to say, there's something here. There's something that resonates because you can remember. I love you all because you are me. There's no separation. See you next Sunday.